LeSEA Sumrall carried a degree of Smith's mantle or anointing. The last time Sumrall went to see Brother Smith, the war was on, World War II was on, and he had to get out of England. The British had sent him a letter to go home. So he went to his house to say goodbye. And in the foyer area of Smith's home, he told him immediately, get on your knees. And Smith laid his hands on his shoulders and began to pray. And Brother Sumrall said he cried until the tears off of Smith's cheek would hit Sumrall's forehead, and asked God to give him a portion of what he carried. And that's the day that Brother Sumrall lost fear. He was the boldest and most fearless man that I ever met.
So he was fearful before that?
Well, to some degree, yes. Yeah. But he made the comment after that to me that he never had a fear that he ever dealt with. Again, it was one of those things that just kind of happened.
And he was a bold guy.
He was gruff. I use the word gruff.
Gruff is a good word.
Not mean or rough, but gruff. That's in between gruff. You had to know him. You had to understand. Part of that was he's Irish. He's an apostle. He's also got a certain degree of punch to him. All that wound up together created the gruffness of Brother Sumrall. Now, what he is known for besides, he only knew Smith for 3 years, 3 to 4 years. The man that no one ever talks about is Howard Carter. It was his spiritual father, which is an unsung hero of the Pentecostal movement. But to go back to Sumrall, what was great with Sumrall's ministry was the Filipino revival. The Philippines never had a Protestant revival until the great deliverance of Carlita with Brother Sumrall in the 1950s. And I don't know if we have time to even go into that, but the great revival there came because he cast the devil out of a girl that was being bitten by an evil spirit. And the mayor gave him anything he wanted out of appreciation, and he asked for the city square that stood about 150,000 people. And so after 6 weeks of revival, after that deliverance, there was over 150,000 conversions in 6 weeks, and Protestantism exploded in the Philippines. And he built, at that time, the largest Protestant church in all of Asia. After Sumrall's great church became Cho, was the next great church in Korea. So the first great, huge church in Asia was Sumrall's in the tens of thousands. And so he had that. And so at the height of that...
And you know, they're still talking. There's still, when you go to the Philippines, you can still see evidence. People have pictures of that in their home.
Yeah, it was the event that allowed all Protestant churches to thrive. He dealt with the principality and power. He dealt with the national power there with that deliverance. Somehow that power and that deliverance and that thing with that girl knocked that thing back to where it's still knocked back. And so it was a very interesting thing. And at the height of it, at the height of that church, height of that revival, God told him to come back to America. And so it seems like every place Sumrall gets to going, he gets rolling. Then at the height of it, God sends him someplace else. And he came back home, and he actually did more to help young ministers than anybody else I know for the end of his life. And I was glad to say that he was my spiritual dad, and I had good relationship with him. He told me I was right. He told me when I was wrong, and it was good to have that in your life. So,
yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of wisdom in that.